So, imagine this. You're in your classroom and you're giving a lesson, and then all of a sudden, a 5-year-old playfully spanks you. They're not trying to be rude or disrespectful. They're just playing. What would you do? Now, some teachers might react with frustration. But for me, I took this as a learning experience because this is a young child. They are in kindergarten and they probably do this at home with mom and dad. So this is a learning experience for them. Now, I'm going to take you through exactly what I did. Well, first of all, I sat back down because I was kneeling forward. So I sat back down and I turned to the child and I said, "Hey, I need you to go to a table now." The child got right up and walked to a table as we were sitting at group for a lesson. I continued with my lesson. I finished the lesson. All the children went and started their lunch, and I went over to that child. I sat down, got down at their level, and I said, "Hey, I think you probably thought you were being really silly right now." And the child went, I said, "Unfortunately, my body is never for hitting. I do not find that funny, and I do not think that's a way to play." The child just looked at me. I said, "Probably might do this with mom and dad." They shook their head. And I said, "That's okay if your mom and dad say it's okay. But I have a boundary, and that boundary is you may not touch my body like that, okay?" I said, "Okay. I want to remind you that hands are to be soft. You could give high fives. You could give hugs. That's if you ask for permission. You did not ask for permission to touch my body there, did you?" "Nope." I said, "All right, well, next time, can you ask for permission to give myself a hug or a high five if you want one?" They shook their head. And I said, "Now, what do you think you could do to fix this problem?" I turned it over to the child. I did not give any punishment to this child. I asked what they could do to fix it. Some children in this situation might say something along the lines of, "I'm sorry." And that's okay to say sorry. In my personal opinion, I do not believe I should ever tell a child to say sorry. I believe I can ask a child how to fix it. If I tell a child to say sorry, do they really feel sorry? I have no idea. I might be teaching that child that sorry is a word you say to fix it, and you don't have to do anything. Sorry just fixes that situation. In my opinion, sorry does not fix it. So I asked the child what they think they could do. The child said, "I will make sure I keep my hands to myself." Right there, the child solved the problem. They fixed that situation. I did not need a sorry or anything. The child did, though, continue to say, "I am sorry, Miss Isley." And I said, "I really appreciate that. And I also appreciate that you will keep your hands to yourself. And that means you need to also keep your hands to yourself, to your friends, not just your teachers, as we do not put our hands anywhere like that on our friends, okay?" "Okay." Then I let the child go on. That was the end of the conversation. We were done. I didn't send the child to the principal's office. I didn't say they needed to go home for the day. I did email the parent, though, to make sure they understood of what happened. And I also, when I emailed the parent, I let them know I understood where the child was coming from. The child thought it was funny. They didn't come out of this with ill intent. They didn't come to physically harm me. They weren't trying to do anything along those lines. They just thought it was a silly opportunity. And it probably looked like it was a silly opportunity. I can imagine being this child and thinking that. I put myself into that child's shoes. Love and logic is all about teaching the child with empathy while setting clear boundaries. Now, kids learn. They learn all different ways, but I've realized children learn best when they feel safe. Whether that is coming from being in a safe environment or with a teacher that makes them feel safe, and respect too. So I need to respect that child, but that child also needs to respect me. So if I am making sure my classroom and myself is a safe environment and that the children feel respected, these children will honor my boundaries. What do you think? Have you ever had a situation like this? Or maybe you've thought back to one you've handled and you're like, "Ooh, did I handle that right? I don't know." Drop a comment below and I'll let you know how I would have handled it.